At 40, Lindsey Vonn is back, and the ski world can't look away. Her comeback isn't just about proving herself again, it's about defying expectations, silencing critics, and rewriting the narrative that age and injuries define an athlete's limits. When Vonn hinted at her return on social media in November with the post, "Well, it's off to Colorado. I hope the US ski team uniform still fits," reactions were mixed. Some were thrilled at the idea of seeing a legend back in action, while others scoffed, questioning if she could still compete at the highest level, especially after a knee replacement. But Vonn, ever the fighter, took the skepticism in stride. Her training performances in Beaver Creek sent a clear message. She wasn't back just to participate, she was back to compete. With each session, she gained more confidence and speed, earning praise from fans and analysts alike. Even Vonn herself admitted she was surprised by how well her body was holding up, considering that just a few years ago, skiing without pain seemed impossible. In December, she proved the doubters wrong by finishing 14th in her first World Cup race back, and then pushing even further with 4th and 6th place finishes in Super G and downhill races in St. Anton, Austria. Then came Cortina, a place where Vonn holds the record for the most World Cup wins at 12. Expectations were high, but the weekend didn't unfold as planned. She finished 20th in the downhill event, far from the podium she was aiming for, and in Super G, she slid out halfway through the course despite being on pace for a top finish. Frustration was evident as she struck the snow with her ski pole after getting up. Vonn later reflected on the race, saying, "I was skiing really well. I definitely made some mistakes on the top, but I got a little bit behind the course and tried to pull it off. Then my skis kind of clicked together and I lost my balance." She wasn't making excuses, just acknowledging the reality of racing at this level. Critics, of course, had their say. Former racers Bernhard Russi and Michaela Dorfmeister called her return stupid and dangerous, questioning why she would put herself through the grueling demands of professional skiing again. But Vonn didn't hesitate to fire back. "I don't know why my comeback was such a big problem," she said. "I'm not hurting anyone doing what I'm doing. If anything, the only person at risk was herself, and she was more than willing to take that on." She explained that after retiring, she was in constant pain, so much so that she was doing more therapy in retirement than she had while racing. Surgery gave her a second chance, and she wasn't about to let it go to waste. In true Vonn fashion, she refused to stay down. Even after crashing in training just days before her race in Cortina, she brushed it off. The protective airbag under her suit had inflated to soften the impact, and despite a few bruises, she declared herself good to go. During the second downhill training run, though, things weren't looking great. She finished 40th among the 56 racers, a full 3.39 seconds behind the leader, and noticeably struggled to maintain her usual aerodynamic tuck. After crossing the finish line, she shook her head and had a long conversation with her coach before skipping press interviews to head straight to physiotherapy. Still, this was Lindsey Vonn, and anyone who's followed her career knew this wasn't the end of the story. She made it clear that the ultimate goal wasn't just a one-off return, it was to race in the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milano Cortina. If she manages to record a World Cup win before then, she'll comfortably become the oldest skier, man or woman, to do so. "I need more training, I need more time, and I think it's actually kind of a good thing that I didn't do well this weekend because it leaves me really hungry for more and also hopefully for next year," she said. The fire wasn't gone. If anything, it was burning hotter than ever. Her mindset is clear. She's not back just to say she did it. She's back to compete, to push herself, and to end things on her own terms. While some see a comeback fueled by nostalgia, Vonn sees unfinished business. There's a reason she isn't bowing out quietly. The Olympics are on the horizon, and in her mind, the story isn't over yet. Vonn's return isn't just about chasing records, it's about proving something to herself. After years of being sidelined by injury, of waking up every morning with aching knees and wondering if she'd ever feel normal again, she finally has her answer. The titanium knee has given her a new lease on life, and now she's putting it to the test. But as she pushes forward, the question remains, how far can she really go? Skeptics argue that the competition has evolved in the years since Vonn last dominated the slopes. Younger racers have stepped up, refining their technique and pushing the limits of speed in ways that weren't as common in her prime. Vonn acknowledges this reality, but refuses to see it as a barrier. "Skiing is still skiing," she said in a recent interview. "Yes, the sport evolves, but the fundamentals don't change. You still need speed, precision, and fearlessness. And those things, I still have them." That fearless attitude is what made her a legend in the first place. It's what allowed her to race through pain, to bounce back after every injury, and to never let a setback define her career. And it's exactly what fuels her now. However, it's one thing to be fearless and another to make it through an entire season unscathed. Even the best skiers crash, and at 40, her body doesn't recover the way it used to. She's admitted that training now requires more patience, that she needs extra recovery time between races, and that she's constantly adjusting her strategy to stay competitive. But if you ask her if she regrets coming back, she doesn't hesitate, not for a second. The real challenge isn't just about proving she can still ski at an elite level, it's about proving she can win. 4th and 6th place finishes were respectable, but Vonn has never been one to settle for being in the mix. She wants the top spot, and anything less is a reminder that she's still not quite where she wants to be. Her recent performance in Cortina showed flashes of her old self, fast, aggressive, calculated, but also highlighted the adjustments she still needs to make. The mistakes, the timing errors, the slight hesitation in certain turns, it's all part of the comeback process. Then there's the mental aspect. In her prime, Vonn skied with an unmatched confidence. Now, after years of retirement and a body that's been rebuilt, there's a lingering question. Can she trust herself the way she used to? That split-second decision-making, the instinctive movements that once came naturally, those things take time to rebuild. But if there's one thing Vonn has never lacked, it's resilience. She's not just showing up for the sake of nostalgia. She's here to prove that she still belongs at the top. Her biggest supporters believe she can get there. Fellow racers, coaches, and fans have all witnessed her relentless determination, and many have no doubt that she'll find her rhythm again. But there's another side to the conversation. Those who think she's chasing a past that no longer exists. They point to her age, her injuries, the fact that no one has successfully pulled off what she's attempting. Vonn hears all of it, but none of it shakes her. If anything, it fuels her even more. Her plan is clear. Take the season one race at a time, keep making progress, and build towards peak form by the time the 2026 Olympics arrive. That's the ultimate goal, the perfect ending to an already legendary career. But there's still a long road ahead, and she knows it. Every training session, every race, every minor setback, it's all part of the process. And if history has shown us anything, it's that when Lindsey Vonn sets her mind to something, she usually finds a way to make it happen. So will she get there? That remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure, she's not done yet.